Hey, what's up? How you doing today? Been meaning to make this clip for a while. It's that time of year. It's cooling down a little bit. It's November, and I love these Vicks steam humidifiers. They are really awesome for heat, in my opinion, just heating your room when it's in the wintertime. We're cheap. We run our heat. We turn it down a little at night so it doesn't run all night long, and then turn it up some in the morning during the day. Um, but if you've got I guess, regular average size room, these things are awesome for keeping your bedroom warm at night. And they're a little more trouble than a space heater, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it in my opinion. Um, they're dirt cheap. They're a little too cheap, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. But you can register these things for warranty if you call their um, phone number. It is, if it'll focus, it's 1-800 827 6712. 1-800-827-6712. And they've got pretty good customer service, but I think it's only during business hours during the week, Monday through Friday. So, but I recommend it because they sent me a new one time for one that didn't last very long. And before I talk about, I'm going to show you how I clean mine. Occasionally, you got to clean it out. But before that, before you go get one, there's something else you need. I think you need has to go with it. It ought to come with a cheap one, but you need some kind of a humidity gauge. And these things are dirt cheap. I bought two of these. They're both less than $5 a piece. Probably less than $4, less than $3. I think this one might have been like $1.99 or something, and this one might have been $2.99 or $3.99. But you would think this one would be better and more accurate, but it's not. This one seems to be more accurate, I believe, just judging by dehumidifier settings and I guess just your weather app on your phone. Um, you can tell this one here is like 12, 13 or so higher than this one. But I keep this thing on my nightstand, and I keep an eye on it in the wintertime. When the humidity starts dropping, gets cold, I keep an eye on it. I mean, I'm in Middle Tennessee, around Nastyville, Tennessee, so during the warm time of year, humidity stays sky high. So, you don't need a humidifier at all. It's in the wintertime when it gets cold and, Mother Nature's got it cold outside. And the harder you're running your heat, the more it's drying the air out. That's why these things beat a space heater. So, depending on where you live, you may have to put a little bit of salt in the water. Of course, here's the basin, holds a 1.5 gallon, just a plastic tub basin. But depending on where you live, on your water you're using, you may have to add some salt to it for it to work, because this is basically an electrode boiler, and I'll show you. So I usually, if it's not steaming right pretty quick, within 5 minutes, the directions say wait 10 minutes, but I'm not that patient. And I can usually tell as soon as I turn it on, the way it sounds. If it's not putting out some steam pretty within a few minutes, then I know something's not right. It needs a little dose of salt. It says to use an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, but I think I usually use a 1/4 teaspoon. So, but yeah, sometimes you have to, depending on how much you've got it watered down too. But you can use distilled water. We save water out of our humidifiers. But once that thing gets rocking and you get that humidity up to around 60, 70, or even 80, which 80 is a little too high. You need to turn it off at that point, but you can tell a huge difference in the room. And I usually get it, too high, around 70 or 80, and the windows start sweating, and that's when you gotta keep an eye on it and cut it off. But there's no comparison. You can tell just a huge difference because the humidity helps transfer heat. So anyway, to clean the things, first things first, you gotta have a Torx T10 screwdriver. Take out these little bitty stainless steel screws that are not magnetic at all, so they're definitely stainless. But they're right here on each side. You'll see it. And also, one reason it's cheap is it doesn't come with a switch. And then the dumb directions tell you don't plug it into a power strip or surge protector. Well, that's crazy. That's the first thing you want to do, because you want to make it. Nobody wants to wrestle with wiggling unplugging it and plugging it in. So you can use a power strip or surge protector, or get you one of these handy things so you can reach over and switch it off on your nightstand. You can order several of these for about the same price you can buy one in a store. So I'd recommend that. Jump on eBay or Amazon and get one for that. So you take those two screws out, and you take this cover off. Then this part, most important is make sure you got it unplugged, because this thing can be dangerous. Take this little cover off where the little light is, and there's your two hot leads coming in there, your hot and neutral. Those things get hot and oxidize, so keep an eye on those. It's a good idea to put some dielectric grease on it, this clear kind that's pretty high temperature, to help keep that from corroding. But then this part comes off, and that black part you want to clean out with some kind of brush like that, because here's your electrodes, and make sure you got it unplugged, because that will shock the crap out of you if you touch it. So I purposely cleaned one and left the other one not clean. You can see what it looks like. The way I clean it, the manufacturer will not recommend. I've got a wire wheel on my bench grinder that knocks this crap off real quick. But you can also, if you don't have that or don't want to use that, you can also just kind of scrape this off. And what I can't reach with the wire wheel on my bench grinder, I just kind of scrape it off my fingernails. It's pretty stubborn. That's why I use the wire wheel, the bench grinder. It knocks it off. You can tell these things are really fragile. That's part of the problem with it, why they're so cheap and don't last real long. But it's dark. It kind of reminds me of the same material they use on motor brushes, but it's a little bit tougher. It does have a little shine to it, like it's got some metallic to it. I've often wonder why they can't just make these out of some kind of aluminum. But I don't know, that might be something worth trying. So once you get it cleaned off, you should be pretty good to go. Sometimes I'll even put some of this stuff on there with a toothbrush, coat it pretty good. This is Oxguard antioxidant compound. It's actually conductive, unlike this type of dielectric grease. This stuff has zinc in it, and it's actually a little bit conductive. So it probably doesn't last very long there, but it probably should, it should help it keep from oxidizing so fast. And I got a dedicated toothbrush for both of them. So anyway, that's about it, man. The things, a lot of people just use them when you're fighting a cold or something, but I use it just instead of a space heater. They're awesome. I mean, you can get them at Walmart they're like less than $20 now, which is part of the problem. Really, this cord needs to be a heavier gauge, because it overheats. It overheats right there at those connections. I mean, big time. It gets all brittle and crap. That's why I put that dielectric grease on there. But That's about it. They are awesome. It makes a huge difference. And if it gets too humid, way too humid, just cut it off and open your door. You watch your gauge; it will drop quick. I mean, it drops real quick. It's crazy how quick you can change the humidity in a small, average size room. So anyway, uh, yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Put it to good use. It really helps you stay comfortable in the winter. It's good for your nose, your mouth, your eyes, your hands and feet. When you notice everything getting all dry as a bone, it really helps. Helps keep your nose, like your boogers, from getting like cemented into your nose like glue or whatever. But there's also some good stuff I use called beryllium that I keep on my nightstand, that you can put some of that. It's kind of like a Vicks that you can put a little bit up your nose, but it won't sting you. Like this stuff will like burn. They may make something. I mean, it's very similar, but seem like the regular Vicks stuff, if you put that up your nose, it burns. So anyway, see what the jukebox is playing tonight. Keep things interesting. Def Leppard Hysteria album, underrated tune, Gods of War. This is loud as it goes. Have a good one. Take care.